was ready for just doing my sailing. I just didn't want to be here anymore. I was suicidal, I was having suicidal thoughts, I was having self-harming, my self-esteem had went, I had nothing to look forward to. I used to just put the letters in a bin and then just worry about it, and more would come, and then you'd open them and you'd try and read them and you couldn't read them, and then you would start to get uptight and you would sort of self-harm yourself. I mean, I'm sure afraid I was doing that. And I suppose I would have probably sat here and just drunk myself to death, because I had just came down that low. I didn't want to. I was sitting here, no shaving, no cleaning myself, no cleaning my house or anything.
What's most interesting about cases where mental health is a major factor is that from working with our colleagues in the Older People's Psychological Therapies team, we know that clients in chaotic circumstances, and especially people in crisis, aren't generally suitable for therapeutic intervention. In fact, it can actually be counterproductive, as the person isn't necessarily in the right place to cope with any trauma that they could be exposed to as part of that process. Actually, what our colleagues advise is that it's much more effective to prioritise the stabilisation work in areas surrounding the mental health, as well as promoting effective self-management to help support the person to increase their self-esteem. And what we see in a person like Tony is that when you start to achieve that stabilisation, you end up with a person who's much more able to clearly articulate their needs and much more capable of effectively engaging with a variety of services to help move themselves towards more positive outcomes and a much more hopeful future.
And since I've joined Community Connectors, I've been going to different groups, literacy groups, to help me with my literacy, to help me cope with letters and things like that come. And it's made 100% times. But I've felt for the first meeting I had with you to now, it's 100 times better than I was. My life is just, I wasn't caring about myself, I wasn't caring about my house or anything. And through the service, I've been able to get the house done up and do certain things done, and I can have more confidence in myself now. I've got more confidence. When letters come, I don't panic as much, because I know I can either phone the offices and speak to Catherine or speak to Michelle. So I know I've always got a backup for a lifeline as well now. I never had. Other people had never put me in contact with these things.
Tony was referred to us by his community psychiatric nurse after coming through a crisis point in his mental health, although at first we would say that he was still in a fairly precarious place. He was feeling suicidal and was feeling quite an overwhelming sense of anxiety, which stopped him from being able to keep a sense of perspective. He would catastrophise any form of setback and would quite often self-harm to quite a severe extent. The DWP was a particularly huge thing for Tony, so at first we supported him in an advocacy role to help stabilise his finances, because his literacy issues prevented him from being able to really engage and understand the processes involved, and some of his worst instances of self-harm came after receiving letters about benefits. One of the key areas of work we did together was to support Tony towards better self-management and to give him the tools to stop himself from reaching these crisis points. We worked on things like relaxation, sleep hygiene, and over time, using motivational interviewing techniques, we kind of started to get to the heart of what really mattered to Tony and what his best hopes were. With continued coaching and support, he was able to articulate his needs much more and was really eager to find solutions. And at this point, we felt he was really ready to effectively engage with community-based mental health services to continue that journey. Tony's literacy issues were also a huge trigger for his mental health and affected just about every part of his life. He felt a real sense of shame in relation to his literacy. And once he felt confident enough to engage with community support, we also offered him some options for literacy classes, which he agreed to attend on a one-to-one basis. We were able to set him up with an introduction to the tutor, and we also buddied him to his first few sessions until he built up that confidence to continue on his own.
He's listening to the problems. You don't come in and try and tell people that you're going to have to do this, he asks me and I speak to him, and it makes me feel as if I want to go to these places. I'm not getting forced to go to them. I want to go to different projects and literacy classes and try and make something in myself and now, but well, just a bit of brains, or even send a text or something like that I've never done before. And it has been a real change in my life. And my mental health has been brilliant, and since the last year and a couple of months, my mental health has been alright. I've no had self-harmed, I've no done anything wrong. I've been quite happy to go along to groups where I would never have went to. And in the summer there's another group starting up in Springburn Park that I'll be going to as well. And it's all down to Community Connectors.
Tony's been engaging with community supports for about a year now, and his literacy's really gone from strength to strength. We're really quite proud of what he's achieved. He's getting out much more, and he reports that he feels much more able to cope with stress. And what's most reassuring is that he says that he now feels that he knows how to take action when he's struggling. He's massively reduced his reliance on medications like benzodiazepine, and even better, he's significantly reduced his use of alcohol and marijuana as a coping strategy. Tony's recently taken the huge step of participating in the Community Connectors Lifestyle Management Service, where people have been coming together to share experiences and learn better strategies for self-management. He's making new connections, and despite previous feelings of shame, he's now talking openly about past experiences and learning from his peers ways to move forward in life in a much more positive way.
Never would I have thought to come to some of this and talk openly about my dyslexia or just different things. I would never have came to some of this. A lot of other people with similar illnesses to myself, with similar like disabilities in myself, and we all just got sort of on quite well, I think. And it's meeting the rest of the community group that has been helpful, because I get to know them all that. And it's been an eye opener for me. It's been a good eye opener, if you know what I mean. It saved my life, Community Connectors, that's what I could say. The way forward, as you asked me, is looking bright through the Community Connectors group, and hopefully it keeps that way.